start just being more at peace. And I forgave my mom and I forgave my father. And it's like right after that, everything just changed in my life. And I was able to get a good job and I moved out and I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God loves us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better.
You know, I'm 32 years old now, and I've been clinically depressed since I was 17 years old. And ever since I started listening to you a couple of months ago, bro, I don't even need to hear the word depression. I don't even care about that, because that's not anything that I identify with anymore.
Nice.
I'm 100% cured. I'm 100% better because I've been listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate you. And I just can't even, begin to tell you how much I really appreciate the things that you're doing for young men. Young men need to hear this, and young men need to know this message that you're delivering, because it's important. It's vital to their lives, Jesse. I just wanted to let you know that, man.
That's amazing. I mean, you made my day, man. When I hear one soul has returned to the Father, it's like 1,000. It's better than silver and gold. So God bless you, man. Isn't Nick a Mexican?
Colombia.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. He's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Wednesday. What a beautiful Wednesday. Pleasure to have you back here. Okay, I got a bit of a show for you, and it's, what can I say, a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to be back here on this fine Wednesday. Okay, news is going around, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get informed, educated as best as the Anchor Baby can do. On the big, beautiful bill, they're calling it big, they're calling it beautiful. Some say it can't be beautiful and big. I have thoughts maybe on it a little bit, but we'll at the very least get somewhat informed on the BBB. Okay, I can at least promise that at the very least. Come on. We'll get into that and a number of things, okay? We got a little bit of show for you. I think we'll enter loosey-goosey mode after that. So we'll see what happens after the big, beautiful bill. We're all waiting to see what happens with America, right? But that's really all we're doing, right? The rest is just conjecture, and I think sometimes more intelligent than others. I assume. At times I'm ignorant. But, I'm talking about the criticism or whatever, but isn't it all conjecture? Isn't it all, are we still just waiting? We'll see. So, look, we'll get into it. A pleasure to have you here. We got a bit of a show for you. 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the line, on the air, if there's something you want to say, something on your mind. What else here? Welcome to the show, everybody watching on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. We got punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. We got dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. And all my lovely viewers here on YouTube. How you doing, everybody? Clamoring for the crowns. Okay, you just give me ones in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. And you've listened to every word thus far. 2 in the chat if you have are just clamoring for the crown. Are you just there? Are you just here for the crown? Hey, that's okay. I see calls coming in too, by the way. I'll get to everybody. 888-775-3773. Show some decorum. Don't be rude. You're here for the crown. Click the like button, okay? That might get you some XP. That might get you some crown, okay? So click the like button. Don't be rude. Nick has curly bangs. See, here's the thing. Huang Nian Bui, lovely name. I'm kind of doing the. Here's the thing. I'm kind of how do you put it? I'm kind of rocking the KJP. I'm kind of trying to grow out the Karine Jean-Pierre. You know, I notice I'm getting a lot of width to the sides. You know, I talk about the afro here. We're going out this way. Right now I'm contained with these headphones. But we're kind of growing out the KJP here, okay? We're kind of rocking out the Karine Jean-Pierre. But, yeah, appreciate you being in the chat. Huang Nian Bui. Sorry. That was a different language, not a emotional outburst. Okay, well, is that everything? Like, let's jump into the show here. Oh, hold on here. We got stuff to get into, okay? But let's switch it up. We got Jeff out of Louisiana. How you doing, Jeff? Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Pretty well. I hate to call your show with dumb questions, but
you said what about dumb questions?
I hate to call your show with dumb questions, but I ain't called your show in a while.
You hate to call my show with a dumb question, but Jeff is going to rock it anyways. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
All is well. So go ahead. You said you have a dumb question?
Yeah, I mean, just right out here and stuff pops in my head all day long, sir, and I got no subject. No, I live by D.C., but I live out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's
D.C., but out in the country. That's where you live?
Yeah, I have front porch and over trees and all that, pollen and all that kind of front yard. And I got pets and animals outside. But like here, a year and a half ago, I guess, I had a house. I had kittens.
You said what? What about kittens?
I said the cat house. I had kittens.
The cat outside had kittens?
Yeah, and one of the kittens, they come in on front porch every morning, and there's one little kitten out there. When he heard the can of food pop, he's the first one up. Well, I went there one morning, and I popped the can of food. He's on circle. He's on the ground going in circles.
Wait, you got to slow that down. One morning, what happened?
I'm sorry, I'm going to slow down. One morning, I went outside and I popped a can of food. The kitten always run up.
Kittens running up to the can of food you put out.
Yeah, it was on the ground, just going in circles around the porch post. I looked down, I seen his eyes were matted shut. I got my shoes on when the guy brought it inside. And I cleaned his eyes out, and I was stuck in a cage. Thing is going to die probably. Wound up living. So here's my question now. What would you rather be? He's been here over 2 years. He's in the front door. You know, you can see out the glass door at the front door. He sees his mom outside and his little brothers outside and all that stuff.
The kittens, you mean?
Yeah. Like, you know, she had another kitten, so there was a kitten outside. But how would you feel if you could look at your family and not ever touch them or talk to them?
How would I feel?
Yeah, how would you feel if you could, you know, if somebody told you, you know, say I can say my mom's both my parents passed away, but
Wait, Jeff, you got to slow down. I can't. I'm really missing it now. You got to slow down, man. It can be clear for our viewers here. I apologize, but we just have to. We have to because now we're in it now. We're in it, but now we got to understand.
I know I talk fast. So
the kid. So yeah. So you described the story about the kittens and the kittens being separated, basically. From the parent cat.
Yeah.
And the separation, you felt this pain of this cat being separated from its family. You're asking me how would I feel from that same separation?
Yeah.
Is that a fair summary?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as like my mom and papa passed away, so I know. I don't know if your parents are still here or not, but mine have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you feel if you could see your mom on the other side of a glass door, but never touch her, hug her, talk to her, nothing?
What if I had to see her on a glass, like she was, let's say, arrested or something, and I could only see her on the other side of a glass door?
Well, no, and I thought about that. No, not arrested wouldn't make it different. It wouldn't be the same because arrested would be lost.
Just so I could imagine it better, but I can see her. I can see her maybe even regularly, but it always has to be behind this glass pane and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see she's living her life and enjoying it.
What a pain! Let's skip the glass pane, Ma. Just call me. Let's skip that whole thing. Just call me. Tell me how you doing, Ma? Nice to hear from you. How's life like behind the glass pane? That's crazy. No way. Wow. Okay. Well, I wish you well, and take care. And so,
like I said,
I know I'm trying to make it too real. You asked me how I'd feel, but I'm making it too real. It is all hypothetical, but I mean, it's kind of not. I'm trying to express how it wouldn't be too unlike right now, in that I don't see, feel, or hear or touch or anything about my family 99% of the time, 90% of the time.
Oh man, that sucks. I know how it feels, man.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that sucks?
I really don't know why I said that because I know how it feels. I got a brother that lives like 2 houses down.
But even your brother, do you see him all the time?
I see him every day. I talk to him once a month.
You see your brother once a month?
I see him about every day. I talk to him.
You said you talk to him every day?
I see him every day, but I talk to him maybe once a month.
Oh, okay. So you just see him somehow every day, but you only talk.
I see him pass by.
And so why does it bother you so much not to have your parents around anymore? Not say it's right or wrong. Just you said that, right? You did say it bothers you.
To be honest, for my parents' thing is once I got older and got a job, got to working, making money, and all that stuff, I was able to spoil my parents the way they spoiled me when I was a kid.
But you said you were sad about it. Why does that sadden you? Why does that bother you? Would you be bothered, let's say, if you could never see your parents? I mean, you're in a situation like that right now. I guess we don't have to give you the glass hypothetical that separates you. But how does it make you feel right now that you can't see your family? You said they're dead. They've passed on.
It's sad, but life goes on. I gotta live.
Right, life goes on, right? So that's kind of where I come at it from.
I gotta live what I got now.
If she was on the glass, if she was on the other side of the glass, if I can't see or touch, aren't you supposed to grow up? Aren't there stages to life? Aren't you supposed to? I heard at one point that at some time, in times past, maybe immemorial, I don't know. Families, young men would leave their home and not come back for a decade. Go off and live a life in a different town, another village. Go off to the city, get educated, and live and create a whole life and get married. And they would see their family for years and years. What do you think about that?
Well, that's what it used to be. That's way. Well, man, that's
so did we become problem. Beta? Don't you think it's a little beta?
Yes, I'm saying that's the problem with life now. Life's just too cushiony. We've got everything we need in one spot. We don't go out forwards and search for stuff. Everything we need is supposed to be in one spot. Oh, that's the way the world's made up now.
Yeah.
The world's made up, so everything we want to do is right in our...
Like I'm basically ancient. I'm 31. It's like my life's over. Like I'm ancient. I'm old. You understand what I'm saying here? Like
Yeah.
men used
Yeah,
to leave
right.
their homes, and so anyways, but I appreciate it. It was just a silly question, right? We don't have to spend an eternity on
Yeah,
this. Anything else, Jeff?
No, that was it, man. You're good.
Yeah, right on, man. Call me again. All right. Was that a little rude there? No, I wasn't trying to be. No, get out of your head, beta male. Jeff, appreciate your call, sir. 888-775-3773. Let's get into the show. Just doing a little bit different there. Taking the calls, taking the mic. Yeah, what do you guys think? Is that a silly question? The quandary he put. What do you think, chat? Would you feel bad? Would you feel bad if you were separated by a glass? You know, like a kitty, like the cat and the kittens. I don't know. Am I a little hater? I love my family. I call them my sisters. They're cool. They're whatever. They call me. So they call me actually a lot sometimes when they're fighting. They got issues, and but I really it's kind of been an ongoing thing. I've cleaved away. I've been like that since I was like 14 years old. I was like, Nikki, you never call. You never call, Nikki. I'm like, here you're all calling me. Isn't that great? Ain't that beautiful? Big beautiful bill. Let's get into the news, okay? It's big. It's beautiful. They're taking a big chunk out of the problems in America. They say whatever. So they're calling it the big beautiful bill. And I guess to begin, we should get into the bill. You know, the bill itself. I know there's controversy around it, and I got some thoughts, but I guess let's start taking a chunk out of this story here, huh? The big beautiful bill. And they've been talking about this spending package for a little while now. They've been reporting on it since May. And that's what this is. It's a spending package. So allow me to explain. Put forth by House Republicans. It's coming through the House, and these bills, they go through their process. They get debated and all that in the House, and they have to go through this legislative process where this bill can become a law in a similar fashion, like the CARES Act or the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. You might remember some of that. That's what this big beautiful bill. In fact, that's what this is. They're reporting it as an expansion of this 2017 TCJA, the Tax Cuts and Job Acts. Okay, so let me pull up all my stuff, folks. You guys got to allow me to do this. Very unprofessional, but I'm going to get up off this chair and let dead air happen. That's what I'm about to do. I need the fan. What the? Oh, yeah, we're back. We're back, baby. We need that fan, that circulation of air bringing lifeblood. So the big, beautiful bill, where was I? They're criticizing it. And we'll get to that, but it's an expand. They're attempting to expand. One major part of it is this expansion of this tax policy. It was started off in 2017. And a lot of these tax cuts and all that were put in place with that 2017 act will be expiring. Okay, they'll be expiring this year, and so that's part of this whole plan. That's part of this. That's one aspect of this big beautiful bill to make these more concrete. These cuts, and now these cuts were, there was the criticisms. These were tax cuts for the rich. It's been some time now, and that was endlessly debated, and I tend to ignore these things at those times because it's just like politics. It's so annoying. But essentially, I mean, what wasn't this sort of debunked? I mean, it wasn't just the rich that got tax cuts. You can ask a number of different agencies, but agencies like the Congressional Budget Office and others. Allow me to pull it up. the Congressional Budget Office, the Tax Policy Center, the Joint Committee on Taxation. I mean, they're not all these super Trump aligned or anything. This Congressional Budget Office is making the big fanfare right now that this big beautiful bill is gonna do massive. It's gonna be 2.4 trillion in deficit in 10 years. That's what they're saying. So, to be fair, right, just to give you an overview of this Congressional Budget Office. I mean, they say similar things with every spending package. It's kind of their job. I mean, they said when the CARES Act was coming around with Biden, they were like, okay, well, this is what you've proposed, but this is the damage. The point is, even according to these agencies, the wealthy benefited, but it was not only the wealthy, the middle 60. It was the middle class as well. It was basically the low class, the poor, if I may, that did not. They received what is reported as modest, minimal benefits. It is fair to say they benefited the least. And you know what? I have no problem with that. Middle class, the very rich. They say the rich benefited the most. I could believe it. But the whole thing about that 2017 TCJA was, I mean, the liberal media themselves called it the biggest tax policy change since 1989, right? So, I mean, the whole vision is to free up the country. I mean, it's to let the industry go, the golden era, right? That's the claim, and I get it. I'm with it. So going back to this, I mean, I get that just to remember that criticism about this act back in 2017 that only benefited the rich. Well, no, it benefited who I think it should benefit. I mean, really, it would be an absolute waste with the lowest income. They should receive the most modest and most minimal of benefits. You've relegated yourself to being taken care of, in a sense. I mean, not always. There's many hardworking people, but I mean, the most impoverished, they're usually the worst. Just saying. But so great, no more money for them. So I thought that was it back then. They're trying to solidify some of that with this big beautiful bill, among other things. Now, any way you slice it, and I can't give you the whole thing. The way these bills are, they're giant. They call them omnibuses. There's these huge bills with a whole bunch of stuff on them. And I can't just sit here and tell you all of it. I just don't even have it. I don't think it's even been all revealed. But look, the point is, any way you slice it, it seems like you got to spend money. Any way you slice it, this bill is going to spend as it is. Why? Because you got to do things. You got to, like it says, like CNN reports. I have all these tabs. You got to give me a sec. As CNN reports, the proposed defense and border changes, the tax and policy changes that I mentioned, and what else here? The defense and border security, allocating additional billions. They say 150 for defense spending, and thanks to it. Just right. The proof is in the pudding. Why? I mean, you don't even need to hear me. Just look at the big, beautiful bill to prove that they're going to be spending more. Why? Because it's in the big, beautiful bill, these spending cuts. The whole point of these spending cuts that they are putting in this bill, they say it themselves, is to offset revenue losses, because this bill proposes approximately $1.5 trillion in spending cuts over a decade to basically pay for a bunch of stuff. You got to move it around, okay? I mean, they're saying themselves, you got to do these spending cuts. Now, it's cool to see it in the spending cuts trying to go after Medicaid, these big, deep things that are hard to go after. Because it's like now so you don't care about people's lives? But people are really short-sighted. It's like the thing is not working. The debt is incredible. And you just want to let it implode because you're like, it's the right thing to do. You don't even know what the right thing to do is. But okay, back to this bill. that's just what they're saying. This is the bill, and where was I? Etc. It's a spending package, okay? It's a spending package. And what am I getting at with that? Just putting in perspective a little bit. Because here's the story, right? The idea is fiscal responsibility. That is the main not only responsibility, but should be the prime directive, especially when they're discussing these bills, okay? It should be fiscal responsibility. But this fiscal responsibility, how do I put it, is never met to any transformational degree. Let me not even say that. I'm just simply trying to say this. When you compare this big beautiful bill, it really is. It has its own different details and different proposed effects and agendas, but they're really comparable. And what am I comparing? This big beautiful bill, the CARES Act 2020, 2017's Tax Cut and Jobs Act. These are all spending packages. Yes, they have this build and purported approach. Like, for example, the CARES Act. The CARES Act was about COVID. It was an emergency COVID response. But what did it allow the Biden administration to do? It allowed them to do a whole bunch of things, okay? It was a huge, giant bill. It had a whole bunch of stuff in it, which included all these, like, emergency stimulus checks to individuals, expanded unemployment benefits, loans and grants to businesses, healthcare, public health funding. So the CARES Act, besides that, I mean, it was a $2.2 trillion, they call it relief package, but it was basically to summarize, the team in the seat of power. This is how they're going to do what they want to do. That's what this is, okay? That's really, without any complication to it. The team that's in the seat of power needs the congressional and political authority to enact their agenda, okay? And they do it through these big beautiful bills, okay? And so that's what it is. You understand when you see articles like this, when you see when you go on when you go to see the ladies at the Skim, and they're going off about the one nation under a lot of debt. Look what they say. They say the U.S. has always had a bit of a spending habit. Yeah, you think it's kind of been decades of this debt, right, crisis. But now Wall Street alarms are loud enough to break through even the AirPods Max of finance bros. Cute ladies at the Skim, always cute. I can't take that away from the ladies at the Skim. Always very cute. The U.S. spends over $1 trillion a year just on interest payments. What? More than on Medicaid and defense combined. Making things worse, the GOP's big beautiful bill. Yes, they're still calling it that. The massive tax and spending package now in the Senate could add $3 to $5 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. Look, and who are the loudest critics? Elon Musk. They're loving it. Okay, the ladies at the Skim are loving it. But here's all I'm trying to say here, without denying or getting into yet the criticisms of the big beautiful bill, is that all you're seeing is politics. Okay, the team that wants to enact their agenda gets, and then all their cronies and the people who agree, they go on the media or whatever, and they say, "Yay, this is great, this is awesome," even though the same congressional board, congressional budget office was saying similar things about both things, the CARES Act, the 2017 thing, this one right here. It's a matter of team. So you understand that's what these spending bills are. So in a sense, politically speaking, maybe not even morally or what's right or even what's correct mathematically, politically, the deficit in a sense does not matter. Because, look, put it like this. It doesn't matter for the enemy. It doesn't matter for them. So anyways, so when you're in this conversation, right, you can say, hey, Republicans, hey, Trump, who I voted for, I would want to see you to really be fiscally, whatever, do it this way. But if you're sitting there thinking, hey, you're just supposed to be honest about the budget, and that's the only, if you're in that level of thinking, you're gonna get devoured, right? Because you're not thinking about how politics works. It's not about what's true and what's right. Okay, the whole thing is fractured. America, as it stands now. I mean, I'm not calling for it, but some people are. How do I put this? They say Trump is a dictator. Oh, it's terrible, but I mean, you need a sort of wrecking ball of executive power here, at least for some time, to kind of make sense and fix this mess. That's kind of just my thinking about it. So moving on here, that was just kind of my thoughts on spending packages and all that. Now, what do people want to see? People want to see a number of things. I mean, one of these people's criticisms is going viral, right? Elon Musk. He says, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." And how do I put this? It's not even, because here's I want to see similar things. When you see that Congress is just like fat and sassy, just rich. You look at the charts. These are based JPEGs, okay? Obviously, these are sourced. Let's check at least. Okay, the source is unusualwhales.com. Maybe this is a self-citation. But you see these people that get so rich, and you wonder, what the heck? That's the Congress so rich, the debt is out of control. The country, I mean, the border, folks, just a mere thing that come on, most people don't even disagree on at this point anymore. They don't even care about it. So I can understand some of this, right? What we want to see is a radical transformation. I mean, didn't Elon Musk kind of put it like that? He was like, after working at Doge a bit, I mean, I've come to realize what's the only true way of fixing any of this, of making this at all efficient, is the who's really in the way is the government. And like you just saw from the Skim article, the mere interest is $1 trillion. I mean, and then they lay it out themselves right there. The big expensive things is welfare, charity, the military, which I'm fine with, right? We want all the military, right? We want everything that's happening with the military. Welfare, Medicaid, blah blah blah. And it's like you have a public that just cannot. What do you do with that? You say, hey, this is going to implode. We got to kind of fix this because, $40 trillion. How about we kind of fix this? It might hurt. It might hurt in the short term, but in the long term, we just may continue as a civilization. It's like, no, you're going to kill people, don't you? What do you want to kill grandmas and Medicaid? I don't know what to say. What do you say to that? It's like, no, you don't want to kill those people. But at some point, you got to look at all this charity and all that and realize who's getting this. It's like immigrant. It's like all these people who hate America. It's all these people who don't deserve it. And by deserve, I mean like what? They in my mind, consider for a moment, call this crazy, but you come to this country and you want something from the hospital, and you think America is stolen land. It's like, you don't deserve the hospital. Get out. I don't know what to say. Anyways, let's see. What else about this? That's pretty much it with all that. I see calls coming in. 888-775-3773. We'll get to you. Two of you. You guys hung up. We'll get to you. Call me back. 888-775-3773. What can I say? It's big. It's beautiful. It's politics. So, I mean, what else can I say about this? I guess I can say that I mean, I kind of already said it, right? We kind of understand Elon Musk, some of us here, right? We can kind of see it. We want the transformation. They're alleging the transformation. I'm not poo-pooing it that hard. I'm not poo-pooing it at all. but many are, right? The alleging of this transformation from the Trump administration, that they're saying this thing, this big beautiful bill. I mean, when they say the spending cuts, when they say that these 1.5 trillion in spending cuts so that they could do what they want over 10 years, it's like that's the plan. That's what they're saying, and there's all sorts of I'm sure intelligent discourse about this more than this right now, like exactly, your predictions of what's going to come, but it's a prediction. It's a prediction. So I'm waiting and seeing. We shall see. I mean, you see the differences somewhat, right? I mean, Trump to me is a guy who really wants the right thing. I mean, just look at the CARES Act. They didn't even put spending cuts in there. They didn't even pretend. Okay, and that's what these spending packages are, right? You have like a story. It was for COVID, and then you just do what you want to do. I mean, that's just how it works. And I don't necessarily like it, but just compare them. I mean, the CARES Act, they didn't even pretend. It's just, we're going to expand all this stuff, spend like crazy, and we don't even have a plan. And when asked, it's like, don't you know it's COVID, man? By God, man, it's COVID. And so they didn't even have any provisions about spending cuts and a plan to say, hey, we want to make America great or whatever. No, it's just, so you see there's differences, seemingly differences in governance, if I may, even though some are not seeing this transformation that they'd like to see. That maybe in some, when I sit here thinking about it, I'd like to see. Sure. All right, that's all my thoughts, I think, on the big beautiful bill. They're saying this one. Hold on. I'd like to show you something here, but we're having a bit of a technical thing here. I gotta flip a switch real fast. Flipping switches, jumping around. You gotta love it. So one interesting thing that is reportedly in Trump's big beautiful bill is a ban in all 50 states from regulating AI for 10 years. It fits with that this seeming 10-year plan, big beautiful plan, seemingly, right? I mean, it's somewhat described in their spending cuts and all that. They see a vision for America, 10 years. You gotta wonder, right? I mean, 4 years of Trump, the plan. What am I saying with that? I mean, it's just the questions of what happens beyond Trump. I mean, it's just a question, right? I get to just say that Trump's big, beautiful bill bans all 50 states from regulating AI for 10 years, centralizes control at the federal level, and integrates AI systems into key federal agencies per TC. I don't know what TC is. The bill could also touch enterprises and CIOs that have already updated practices, paid outside partners for assistance, and brought on specialized counsel. What can I say? I mean, they say it might be one of these revolutions, industrial revolutions or something like that. And Trump wants to gear America for that, be ready for any such, right, amazing advancement and all of that. They want to be at the forefront of it all. Some have their criticisms about exactly who's coming in with this tech world, and I've detailed some of those criticisms in some way. I mean, I'm waiting and seeing. It's so crazy, right? It's like a big, I don't know how else to put it. I mean, just other than to describe it, how it seems in my mind, right? It just seems like this movement or whatever, this attempt to do what? Have a home, have a border, fix the country, right? It's like, okay, we want to fight for the people here. And then it's like all sorts of actors. It's hate or trying to be the Trump without Trump. Remember that? That was like not even that long ago. These actors, whatever, wherever they are, I mean, it's a strange thing. So if everyone's trying to tug a war, get their own agenda going. So, the Trump without Trump. You guys remember what I'm talking about, right? They really tried to do that. Now I sound like crazy. The establishment, whatever. They had Ron DeSantis running, and he was like, that's what they were saying. They were calling it Trumpism without Trump. That's actually crazy when you really go back and think about it. They were trying to like surgically psyop us. I mean, what is that? What is that? Trumpism without Trump. So anyways, psyops. What else was proven? Psyop. Speaking of psyops, side note. And because I mentioned, and because KJP mentioned, Karine Jean-Pierre mentioned, psyops mentioned, hold up. Segue into a side note. She released a book recently. She's turning on the Democrats. Karine Jean-Pierre. She's releasing a little book, a big tell-all, one of these tell-all moments. Don't hire these women. Well, I guess I don't really get to say that, right? Because what was it? Who was that? FBI director, male? Tell-all. They come off. It wasn't maybe even a director, but these people, they come out of the politics, the Trump administration, so-called males, come out with their tell-all books. Karine Jean-Pierre came out with one, and I believe it's titled... let me see. Which one was it? Here I am. Independent. Ooh. Her title. There it is. Karine Jean-Pierre is independent. Look at the cover of her book. It's like a shattered glass covering the White House. Like, shattered glass. Not what I thought it was here. Expose. I'm an independent now. By the way, let me just tell you, if you didn't know what I'm doing here, a look inside a broken White House, outside the party lines, outside, asterisk, as of 5 minutes ago, the party lines. I'm just trying to help out here as a unsolicited editor for Karine Jean-Pierre, but she's coming out with this tell-all. And the article that was talking about it also mentioned, who was it? It was like Jake Tapper. He comes out, he's like some journalist, CNN journalist, coming out with his tell-all, right? And I mean, I don't think we know yet what's in this book, but this article was alleging or implying that this book is going to also mention Biden's declining mental state, right? I mean, this was wacky conspiracy stuff. I mean, to some people, it was obvious, right? But that was years of a machine. Remember that, a machine telling you, this man is fine. What are you talking about? And now all of those people are coming out with tell-alls. I don't know exactly what's in this one, but anyways, Karine Jean-Pierre, shout out. I'm rocking her hairstyle. Appreciate it. So what else here? 888-775-3773. Amazing. Super chats. Look at this. Hold on. Aaron G, thank you for the super chats. Okay, let me start it with Marty, actually. Marty Ubaldo says, Hola, Nick. Tell Joel I'm going to Vegas, and if he wants to go, he has to pay his own way. LOL. Love you guys. Many blessings to your hardworking self. Thanks, Marty Ubaldo. Appreciate the generosity. And very cool. Vegas. I've never been. I've yet to go to Vegas. Should we IRL? Whoa. Should we go to Vegas? I mean, when am I going to... We'll figure that out, okay? It's work. It's for work, Jesse. Jesse, it's for work. You don't understand. Should the anchor baby... No, I shouldn't... I'll ask you this question maybe another day. But, I'm going to need some polling from the audience, basically. But Vegas, should we go to Vegas? What are we going to do in Vegas? I mean, I guess my show is entertainment, right? Trying to entertain y'all. I get in my head sometimes, like, I need to be. What is my purpose here? It's like, let that happen, right? So how about we go to Vegas, IRL in Vegas, anchor baby. Obviously, you guys are gonna say, yeah, let's go with. But it'd be cool, right? Go together. Someone was asking me when I'm gonna get in a plane and fly a plane. You guys want? I'll let you know, like, maybe when I become a perfectionist. The anchor baby's not a perfectionist. I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the level of. I've been looking. I've been reading a whole bunch of airline accident reports again. It's fascinating what brings down a plane. You need to be a perfectionist, man. Okay, I got calls. We're filling up here. I want to get to all of you. 888-775-3773. But what else here? Something's, I feel like I'm missing something here. Hold on. What am I forgetting here? Is line 2 for me, Derek? Or is that for somebody else? Okay. Let's get to a call here. Hold on, folks. Nick, you were at the slot machine where Jesse mentioned it. Wait, where was I in Vegas? Oh, no, that's right. We went to Nevada. Is it Nevada? Nevada? We went to Nevada to film the Hodge twins. That was awesome. They had slot machines all over that airport. We did not hit the slot machines, okay? We're Christians. We're basically Christian missionaries, okay, Mario Baldo, on a Christian trip, doing Christian missionary work. You think we're gonna be game? I'm laughing already. Anyways, let's get to some calls here. We got Lucas out of California. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Wait, who? Me? Lucas?
Yes, sir. We got Lucas. How you doing, sir?
Oh, dang, that was quick. That was right away.
How you doing,
man.
sir?
Hey, I just watched the Jesse video, the clip of, I don't know if that was on the radio today or yesterday, but it was the black reporter was talking about what happened at that school, and then she talks to the people that were there, like, to get their side of the word, and then if you hear her response, her whole voice changed to, like, black talk. Like, it's so hilarious. Have you noticed
what
that?
happened? And so wait.
So the new clip, the new video that Jesse just posted, the video.
He posted it where?
On Jesse Lee Peterson.
And what happened?
Do you have a deal? It's in the thing in the. It just happened. Yeah, I have it on history right here. It was something at the. There it is. Parents fight at elementary school.
Oh, yeah, we totally talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. These parents were all fighting. Yeah. West Memphis. Parents fight at the elementary. Not even the kid. It was the parents fighting.
Yeah, but the reporter it was a black female reporter, and if you hear her when she's reporting on the story, oh my God, it sounds like such a white girl voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. But then she goes to talk to the people on the streets, like that witness or whatever know about it, and just if you notice the change in her voice, it's.
I'll have to go back to it, but I can sort of remember that. That's from yesterday. It was on Country Western Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
that is funny, man.
Yeah.
You just kind of revert. You can't help but revert sometimes to something familiar, and especially a behavior to something familiar. I mean, you sometimes can't help it.
It was kind of
funny.
Kind of challenge. But also I wanted to know, the N-word thing that was going around. Do you think that's ever that's never a situation with like Mexican or Hispanic folk, right? Like the B word, the B and R word, that one. Does that affect you?
Wait, B and R?
B. I don't want to say the word like beans, but then the R.
Wait, hold on.
You know the slur word that people call, Hispanics?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know about
B and R. I got you.
I don't want to say it on
some frijoles. Okay. We're talking frijole. I got you.
Yeah, does that doesn't affect Hispanics, right? At all? Like
affect them? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it affects them. I mean,
you. But you're Colombian.
It depends on who says it and depends on who hears it. Like
oh really?
Yeah, because like for me, I don't. I definitely. I can't say I'd feel particularly offended by that. No, I wouldn't.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been called that. I've never been called that though. I've never been like just. I can't. Let me think about it. I mean, I I don't know, man. I can't. Let me try and think of it. I think I've been called like spick or whatever, but not even.
Oh, really?
I think I was by like other ethnic people.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Not too common, I gotta say, but
you're Colombian though, right? You're not Mexican, or are you Mexican?
something in my flesh says that when I spit in a jar. Yeah,
That's funny.
it says
Well,
some form of
do
Colombian.
Colombians? Because I know Salvadorians get mad. Do Colombians get mad being called Mexican?
You said what?
Or do Colombians get annoyed being called Mexican? I know Salvadorians.
Yeah,
do.
yeah. No, here's the thing. To give you maybe a perspective, though, at least it's like I've seen Mexicans get mad at that. I've seen Colombians. I've seen Hispanics get mad at being called a different Hispanic. It's a matter of if I really honestly look at it, call it a judgment. But in my opinion, it's a matter of can you leverage it or not? Can you? If you can leverage it, and you're a person who wants to do such a thing, your heart is wicked like that. I notice that they will. You know, I'll call a Mexican. Did I actually? In fact, let me think. I'm trying to think of the Mexicans I worked with at the Chateau Marmont. We were pretty racist in a sense. You could say I think we were pretty racist, but have the white guy call him that word, and I could see him. I could see him go, "Hey, why are you gonna talk to me like that for?" Right? You know, if you can leverage it, if you could use it on someone, I see that's when they will.
Oh, you're talking about when you work in the restaurant business. So like, and then the white cook comes in, and then he says something like that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Because you're asking about do Colombians? Do you see like do you ask me if I get offended? No, but I mean, I honestly don't see Hispanics usually getting offended by so-called racism, but in general, anybody who can leverage this, I see them doing it. I see them doing it, and maybe you can make an argument Mexicans do it less or something, but if they got a bone to pick or something, if you are the opposition, anything goes, right?
And I'm sure you made your opinion on this, but I probably forgot what. So, getting back to the main thing. So, what do you think about the like over $750,000 that this girl gets, and you know everyone's supporting like her, you know, not wanting her to get canceled and stuff like that. What's your opinion on it?
So I thought it was awesome.
Yes, yeah.
I thought it was freaking awesome. We could put it like this. And look, because you think I'm saying what's awesome. The critics say what you're saying is awesome is yelling at a child, saying slurs, hatred, anger. No. It's not that at all. You got to understand the vast majority of people, and yeah, maybe there were haters, but the vast majority of people who were donating to that thing was not even, it's not even about what even happened in that moment. They were done with this canceling over a word. And I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. You don't see that anywhere, man. You don't see that. You just don't see that. It's just fear, man. I don't see. I mean, is Shiloh Hendrix the stock of founding America? I mean, maybe. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
did you see the video of? I don't know if it was the same part, but of like these bunch of like black people in like, you know, black clothes and masks. They like invaded this park and were like chanting stuff and like trying to take over. I don't know what they were doing, but did you see that video?
So what happened? So it was in a park?
Yeah, it was in a park, and it was against like because of that girl, like, you know, getting supported and all that stuff. And they went to a park.
So it was like a protest.
Yeah, like a protest. I don't know if it was the same park, but they were.
I don't know if I saw that, but if you're telling me this whole community had to come out over the word. This is the weakest. This is the weakest, most evil community ever.
Yeah, I think Salty talked about it, but I think that's where I saw it. But yeah, they took over a park, and everyone wasn't even leaving too. I mean, I would have left, but they were. But I guess they were just standing the ground. They're just still playing with their family in the playground. But yeah, they just took it over. It's crazy.
That's amazing, actually, when you really consider what happened there. That's a whole group of people saying, it reminds
adults.
me of what
We're all
Jesse
adults.
says. It reminds me of something deep, Jesse. That Jesse points out. If you're out there in life, and you know how like we're living in illusions, but you're out there saying I'm living in illusion and I love it and I believe it and nothing's gonna stop me. You have a whole group of people who had to stand up to what this is physically, I don't know, she didn't seem too physically strong white woman saying a word, you know. That's what these people are telling. So what are these people saying in that crowd? They're saying we're evil, we're out here and we're evil, we are evil people, we allow words to mobilize us, we are angry and nothing's going to stop us from feeling anger, we're justified in it.
And it's kind of creepy. That's why, like, I mean, I used to try to fight against that, get video of it, but at this point in time, you know, like if our own police can't protect us, I mean, we shouldn't put ourselves in like that one guy said, like just get out of that neighborhood again.
Right. Yeah, like
like
what are you gonna do?
These people just want to cause chaos, and it's crazy, but I get but not the thing I saw yesterday. I think Hake had somebody on his thing, and he was like saying like, oh, you should go out there and fight, and like, yeah, it's like, okay,
Hake had like someone, was it when he had a guest on? Did he have a guest on, Krishan?
Yes.
Yeah, those are always great, Krishan the Dawn. So what happened?
Well, Krishan Dawn was kind of calling Hake like, oh, you don't like fight back and stuff like that, but Hake is like saying, but why are you even putting yourself in that situation? And it was just like a back forth. But I'm all on Hake's side on it. It's like you talking about like, oh, you should go and fight them and da. It's like, no, like, to be honest, that's why we have a police force. That's why we have our society is not supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
you're going
that's
along
actually a good point. Yeah,
you're going along.
It's our right to protest. But hold up.
Yeah.
Have you sat back and thought to yourself that our society is not supposed to be like that? Yeah, it's your right to protest. But this is not a society. That's actually a good point. Yeah, this is not what it was meant to be.
Yeah, the cops, that shouldn't even be happening. The cops, we have to focus on that. Let's go to, we can nip it in the bud. We don't have to put ourselves in danger and stuff like that. But anyways,
yeah, no, I know what you're saying, man, because I share a similar thing in that, what can you do, man? What can you do when people are convinced to hate or whatever? What can you do? It's not hatred then to just want to separate from that.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Well, it was nice talking to you, dude.
For sure.
I'm going to call again more often.
Yeah, call me again, Lucas. For sure.
All right. Have a good one.
I take it. 888-775-3773. Did we do all the super chats? Hold on here. We did not even close to do all the super chats. Talking about Vegas here, Mario Baldo, and now it's like, where are we? Harmony Grits with a super chat. Hashtag Union Dues. Hashtag Donald the Truth Trump. Big 07's Harmony. Thank you. Aaron G with the super chat says, what sort of regulations does the AI ban pertain to? You know, that's a great question. And in the spirit of informing you, I'm going to do a little cursory attempt in finding out. But as far as I know, I think this stuff it's kind of like, we're going to find out soon. It's going to hit the media's desks type thing. I could be wrong here, but because it's not even all like it just passed the House or something like that. We're going to get back to calls here too right in a moment. 888-775-3773. I see you waiting patiently. Going to get right to you. But big, beautiful bill. You know what's an interesting provision in this bill that I don't see anybody kind of mentioning? But I find this fascinating. I mean, come on. What's this about? This seems to be, and maybe someone will understand better than I, but this seems to me like one of those just very creative, just, you know, Trump's a guy with vision. That's one of those things I like about him. And he's got vision, right? They say, he's got vision, okay? So one of these provisions, one of these things that's going to be adding to the spending in the big, beautiful bill is this, what's called Trump accounts. And I get the air of, this almost has the air of a Social Security, and when that started to it, like, is it good? I don't know. Is it slush, etc.? But I don't know exactly. But look, this is one of the provisions. They're saying it's called Trump accounts. Okay? The Trump administration wants to kickstart wealth creation for American children by creating $1,000 Trump accounts for babies born during President Trump's second term. That's what they are, okay? It's part of this bill. And if you're a child and born between January 1st, 2025 and January 1st, 2029 with a Social Security number and whose parents have Social Security numbers, you will be automatically enrolled in the program. And this is a treasury that would set up and fund the accounts. Parents would be able to contribute to these accounts, $5,000 initially, and then some other limitations here. I don't know. Is this like out of the box thinking? It seems to me a little bit. I just thought I'd throw that in there in terms of people wondering what's in this bill. I mean, he wants babies, American babies. American babies with parents with both parents with Social Security numbers. They're going to call that racist. So AI-related provisions in the bill, according to Christian Post and AkingGump.com, the bill imposes a decade-long ban on state and local governments from enacting or enforcing laws that regulate AI models, systems, or automated decision-making technologies. This preemption applies broadly with limited exceptions for laws that facilitate AI deployment or remove legal barriers, align with federal requirements or are generally applicable to laws not specifically targeting AI, and impose reasonable cost-based fees or bonds treating AI systems similarly to non-AI systems performing comparable functions. I mean, that's all just technical, economic, technical stuff, whatever. It seems like the big thing is a decade-long ban on state and local governments from enacting or enforcing laws that regulate AI models. That sounds like pretty significant wording right there. Federal investment in AI infrastructure, a proposed $500 million to the Department of Commerce for modernizing and securing federal IT systems. You know, the government's going in. The AI is going in the government. You thought the AI is not going in the government. This is not me even like picking out any specific criticism. Like, you're not allowed to have it of this tech and GOP government marrying MAGA tech marriage. But that being said, you think the government was not going to have the AI? You think the Minority Report technology was not going to go to the government? Anyways. State lawmakers, blah, blah, blah. So that's a little bit on the AI, okay, for you? The AI provisions have sparked bipartisan concerns. State lawmakers, a coalition of 260 bipartisan state legislators from all 50 states, oppose the moratorium, arguing it infringes on states' rights to regulate emerging technologies. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to Robert out of Kansas. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
I'm on your air, sir.
Yes, the air I own.
Well, yeah, I think you do, Nick, and I appreciate it. I'm glad
legally.
You do, sir. No, keep it up, brother. Own that air. You know, I need you, Nick. I need you to own that air and every bit of JLP that you need to take control of. Okay, brother?
You mean this sounds hostile.
It's not hostile, bro. I don't think you're hostile to JLP.
Not at all.
I think you love him. So
Robert wants to see the Anchor Baby takeover. Many do. I understand it. Anchor Baby take over the world. The Anchor Baby world takeover. That many want to see it.
Hey, oh man. I'm sorry,
No
Nick.
problem.
I'm dropping my phone over here. Did you say that the Jews made you gay, Nick, on a recent podcast?
What? No, I didn't. You said that.
I I said
Yeah, you said that.
the
You were
Jews-
like, the Jews made me gay. And I was like, what? You're gay?
No, no.
I'm like, what the heck,
did
Robert?
they make-
First of all, don't say
No.
personal things. And second, the Jews can't make you gay. That's ridiculous.
Well, no. Did they make me gay or did they make you gay? Like, what do you
No,
mean?
no, no. I never said such a thing. I don't remember saying anything like that. But I do remember
Well,
you calling and saying that the Jews, you know, made you gay, maybe. Or were you saying
Well,
that
no,
others
the
are gay,
Jews-
but there's gayness, degeneracy, if I may, in part due to their fault?
Yeah. Well, the Jews may have made me gay, right? But did they
disavow.
make you gay?
No. I'll say this.
Okay.
They did not.
Okay.
I'll say this.
No,
they did
that's
not.
right.
But I don't think they even
Okay.
can. Don't you think that's a ridiculous statement? I see. That was kind of funny. But on the real point here, sir. Don't you think that's a ridiculous statement? How can the Jews make you gay?
No, Nick,
I'll say they did not make me gay. But how can the Jews even make you gay? That's crazy.
No, I hope the Jews did make you gay, Nick. I love you, brother. I don't want them to make you gay. I promise, man.
But on a serious note, I do remember that call. And basically, to summarize, I mean, I know what you're getting at. You're getting at this notion that, in part, due to culture, morality, maybe even some say proposed by their religion, or what am I saying here? Motivated in a sense by their religion, that they push. Oh, some say it's even worse. Some say it's even deeper than that. It's like a way to destroy this country, etc. And you know what? Look, the point is I'm summarizing this notion and parts and you know, sincerely bringing that back up, remembering that call. The part of the aspect of this whole notion that I find ridiculous is that the Jews can somehow have that power over you, this individual. How is it that they can do that? Robert?
Yeah, Nick, that's interesting, Nick. Thank you for taking my phone calls, sir. Hey,
you disagree? What do you think?
No, I don't, Nick. Nick, the reason I'm calling you is because 99% of the time I agree with you. Now, have you not considered the religion of Jesse? That I think you, Nick, the American anchor baby with all the energy from God, right? That you could codify the teachings of Jesse such that you would have maybe like the gospel of good hair, right? So, you know who that is. The Saint Nick, right? So, you know, Saint Nick, that would be you. And then you have Joel the Judas, you know, Joel.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, and then, you know,
why
when
won't you answer my questions?
I'm sorry, sir. Answer your question. I will. Go
ahead.
ahead.
I asked you two so far. You won't answer. Why do you call Joel Judas?
No, Joel is the way he is. I love Joel. That's the thing. I do. I love Joel.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
But yeah.
But you're saying we should write the Gospels of I mean, there's something about it I like in a sense, but I'm too unstable, man. How do I put it?
Well, no, Nick, you're not. You're not. No, dude, bro, you're not unstable. You are very stable. That's why I'm calling upon you, brother. I'm from the Father God in heaven above. I call upon you, my brother Nick. Where if you were to write down the first line, right, and you say the Proverbs of Jesse, and you say the first line is, when she's crying, she's lying. Right?
Wow. That's a powerful scripture.
Okay, and so then you write down, okay, and I'm not saying these have all got to be like so powerful. They don't have to be. They don't have to be
No, but
so
put it like this,
powerful.
Robert, because I know what you're getting at. But put it like this: if it was written on my heart, I mean, it'd have to be inspired. It'd have to make sense. I'd be a liar if that thought didn't cross my mind. But put it like this: as I'm sitting here right now, thinking about it, the only thing that comes to me is it's like it's already been written. You know, unless I really see it, this has to be written. It's already been right. The story is the truth has been written. It's and people have remixed it, and some say even the Bible, parts of the Bible is a remix. I mean, it's been remixed, but it's out there, you know, so I mean, you know, anyway, I'm not even saying anything anymore. I like Jesse. I really respect and I love Jesse because this whole thing is pointing you back. I mean,
Well, yeah,
unless for sure this thing that I'd write that you're describing, unless I could for sure be sure that, you know, this thing is only to point people back. You know, I would only end up just writing another story that only sort of talks about the truth Jesus talked about. And it's like, okay, we got a bunch of those.
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, Nick, you are so suited and so intelligent and capable in the youth and the energy for this, such that what I mean to you is that, like, if you write the gospel of good hair, right? So Hake puts his gospel of good hair, right? And then you have the gospel of Joel. And, dude, you could bring it all together, Saint Nick, where you just, like, you're like Paul in the Bible, where you're just like, yeah, when she's crying, she's lying. You know, you could bring it all together like the order of God, Christ, man, woman, children, animals, right? Like, all you're doing...
Possibly.
Yeah.
We need someone a little clearer, I think. Maybe this Nick you're talking about in this is a matured, clearer individual. But it's an interesting idea, man.
No, Nick, you're the one, bro. You're the...
It has to be clear.
You're the guy.
It has to be clear. The Gospel of Jesse, the Ghetto Bible, what do we call it?
Well, you're going to call it whatever Saint Nick calls it. I don't know. This is not my place.
Wait, didn't you call in saying it was the religion of Jesse?
I called in saying that, like, when you want to write down the Psalms of Jesse, you would say, when she's crying, she's lying. And then you could call that book amazing, right? So the book...
I mean, he's a Christian. Jesse's a Christian, right? Yeah. But I don't think you meant that necessarily negatively. But.
Well, you can name the book Amazing, and then you just write down everything that Jesse said, and it would work.
Yeah, man. Well, we'd all have the gospel. We'd all have our own gospel in the way you're describing. So we'd be his disciples in a sense, and we're writing the gospel of Joel, the gospel of the good hair, the gospel of the anchor baby.
Hey, the gospel.
Jesse's life. Hey, Robert, appreciate the ideas. It's a fun little thing to think about. We all respect. Yeah, we do really. I think I know where you're coming from, and we do really respect Jesse's message.
Hake is like John. So Hake needs to really take it seriously.
Yeah, that's for sure. One of us has to take it seriously for real.
Yeah, the one guy who needs to take it seriously is Hake. That's for sure. All right.
I think I agree with that. Robert, man, appreciate your call.
Okay, Nick. Bye-bye. Good show, brother. Bye-bye.
Yeah, sure. Call me again.
Yeah.
888-775-3773. A new Bible. I almost segued into this whole thing, but I honestly have it saved for Punchy. You know, I told you yesterday I would explain to you. I'd explain myself today. I was like, guys, no, I swear, I'll explain myself tomorrow. I don't hate women, okay? I'm going to tell you straight up the whole message, and you're going to see that I love them, and we love them, and we want good things to happen. Sorry, I'm actually not telling you that. I'm not telling you that at all. So I guess, I'll leave you in the wilderness. Definitely catch Punchy, I believe, if the creek doesn't rise. We'll be filming will be shown on Monday, and so maybe then you'll learn. Maybe then you'll see that I don't hate women. But anyways, let's move it on here, shall we? Speaking of BBB, Big Beautiful Bill, how about this? Let's just switch it up. No politics. Controversial video? How about this one, huh? Manja, here's some here's some chips for the audience. BBB, Big Beautiful Bill, how about black bar fight? Huh? How about BBG? Black versus biker gang. You heard about this one? This was a controversial one. Okay. Biker gang, allegedly, black man refuses to pay. Biker guy, hold on. And allegedly, black man refuses to pay. And allegedly, biker gang takes care of business. This is being reported by Wayne 15 local news station here, CBS, Wayne 15, WANE 15. In the aftermath of a viral video showing a group of white men wearing Outlaws Motorcycle Club vests beating up a black man at a bar just outside Fort Wayne city limits, Wayne 15 looked into organization and its ties. Let me give you at least some of the reporting here and some of the footage. This is for the manja folks, okay? For the distinguished civilized people, shut your ears. There may even be just some terrible words and all this fighting with people, right? Terrible. But they're saying this is the viral video. Oh, man. Some are saying this is amazing. Some are saying this is not too good. This is at Pike's Pub. Okay, Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're the biker people, outlaw vests. You gotta pay. It sounds like it. You gotta pay. You want? I know he's talking back something. It's right? Commotion. Getting out of the way.
Look at the snap ready.
I don't know what he said there. Look at this snap ready. No, that's not what he said. Well, calm down, right? Yelling.
Hey, you're paying your tab.
Hey, you're paying your tab, buddy, right? I believe they're about to swear here.
You're paying your fucking tab.
You're paying your tab, buddy. Hands flying. Hands start flying. Vest comes off. He was wearing a high vis. He was wearing one of those high vis vests. Vest ripped off. Jesus Christ. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Appreciate that. We definitely needed that. We needed that. That's what we needed. We really needed that one. Oh, no. I should not be chortling in delight to such chaos, but maybe this is the Anchor Baby's kind of ghetto heart here. You know what I mean by ghetto? Like just black heart, like in that it's like everyone has this fatigue, and I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to be feeling this fatigue, but I personally don't even like getting into emotions anyways, and I've been seeing these videos, so I don't really feel any fatigue. And also, they're loud. Blacks are loud around me. Maybe it doesn't. It's like the chirp, like I don't even hear it, maybe like others. so I don't have fatigue, but huge side note, look at the pandemonium. I mean, it's kind of why you don't want me in your city council or something like that. It's like, no, it's this attack on the whites and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes just viscerally, like what I would tolerate, it's like, I'm quite tolerant, I gotta say. But anyways, does this say Trump in the background there? Is this a Trump bar? What does that say? Trump, Trum? What was that? Trump, let's go. Oh, okay, so that's the chaos. That's the pandemonium. You watched it. It sounds like a mess. It sounds like they really did start throwing fists. You know, I mean, it looked like he was leaving and walking, and they're like, no, you got to pay your bill. You got to pay your tab. At what point, folks, what do you think? Thoughts on what happened here? At what point do you think this went wrong? At what point, you know, some were saying this is amazing. I'll say this. I'll put it like this. Shiloh Hendricks, the N-word, taking it back. I get it. I'm with the energy and all that. But someone's got to tell me how, you know, someone's got to make sense of it. I guess you don't have to make sense for it to me because personally I don't really care. It's not like I'm out here making a crusade, like something has to politically happen because of this video. It's like, no, I'm still on the same dealio. If I may borrow a policy suggestion from the Hake Report, black reform, right? We need black, right? No one's talking about black reform and what we can reform. It's always police reform. So I'm not saying any of that, but someone's got to explain this one to me because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem right. You know, it doesn't seem right. What are you gonna do? Beat him up for not paying a tab? Like let the police handle it at that point, I guess, right? Now the actual moment when fists fly, like, okay, the lines really are blurrier than I think. If you took a side, it's not blurry, right? In all honesty, it seems a little blurry to me exactly how it started, right? Because he's walking away. You got to pay your tab. They kind of put his hands on him, but like what started the fight, right? Like what kind of went off here? You can't really see the moment, like the actual moment of violence seems to me like it could kind of be shared, the blame, but what are you gonna do? You're a man walking out of this establishment, however wrong you may be. Someone's putting your hands on you. What can I say? What can I say? It seems like it seems overboard. Am I right? What do you think? It seems overboard. Someone can tell me where I'm wrong. You know, 888-775-3773. Someone tell me where I'm wrong here, because I could be wrong. Whatever, but it seems like a little overboard. I know this one was a controversial one. I realized this. It was one of the bikers. You're saying, William? I analyzed this video to see where the first punch came from. It was one of the bikers on the right. Was the tab paid though? Okay, let's look at how about we look at the news article real quick. In the aftermath of a viral video showing a group of white men wearing Outlaws Motorcycle Club vests beating up a black man, they capitalized the word black, at a bar just outside Fort Wayne city limits. The incident took place at Pike's Pub off Winchester Road, and racial slurs can be heard in the background of the online video. Allen County Sheriff's Department is investigating the case, but no charges have been filed. The Outlaws are part of a motorcycle club started in 1935. Some of the club's defining features, they're describing the club and the schools on the vest, okay? According to a federal indictment, members must be over 21 to own a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Okay, thank you. Anything else on this situation? More on the motorcycle club. Not much more on the incident. Yeah, not much more on the actual incident. So I can't tell you. So moving on. Was the tab paid? What can you do, right? Could you just, I guess at that point, just get the cops. I understand, right? Fighting for your country. I get it. And but on specific situations, I mean, this was a controversial one. I'm looking at it, and I'm giving you my honest reaction. I could be wrong. 888-775-3773. It looks like they're also going on a crusade. It's like, what did you expect? If racial slurs really were used, now you might have the weight of the government come down on you, the way things are. You know? Doesn't make it right? No. But strategically speaking, like, it's a tab. It's a tab. How many drinks did he have? It's a tab. Let the comps, like, it's a tab. Let me move on here, whatever. I'm the same way, Nick. I saw a Waffle House argument live, and I'm in the back. Like, can I get a waffle? Like, I just want a waffle. Hey, Ivana, what's up, cuz? Right? It's like you can fight. I'm the same way, actually, Ivana. Like, you know what? Look, fight. Personally, if things get crazy, I want to make space. I am kind of situationally aware. I like sitting, being able to see the door. Kind of my thing at a restaurant. That being said, like, honestly, do it. Do your thing. I just want, you know, I did order. I'm down. I'll sit here watch a show. I'll watch a show. It's just, you know, I did order. You know, I did order. If we may. I won't repeat that, Kevin Howe, if you're trying to keep that on the down low. Incredible. 888-775-3773. Let's how about we move on here? You know what was else in the news that I wanted to mention here? Ukraine. Okay, this is somewhat interesting. I mean, you saw some of this amazing footage, no? Just to at least attempt to put into perspective what happened, okay? Operation Spiderweb, as it was called. Just to put into perspective what they're saying, this most audacious and far-reaching strike. We're talking Operation Spiderweb. I mean, the details of which, on its own, just militarily speaking, the operation. I mean, it's kind of amazing. It's a matter of, it's a combination of what's it called? Is it fair to say espionage? Look, a number of things had to work in concert here, where they were able to bring in drones. Okay, but these drones, you got to understand, this was a planned attack targeting 5 Russian bases: Belaya, Diaghilevo, Ivanovo, Olenia, and Ukrainka. This operation involved 117 FPV drones. We were looking into how to make one the other day. Right? First-person drones, you're wearing a headset, you're controlling the drone, but you're able to see, right? It gives you a much as it stands, right? I don't know how this will change technology. Speaking of technological advancements, but as it stands, an operator operating a drone through an FPV, a first-person view, offers just a very, very effective, weapon here in a sense. You're making decisions on the fly. These things that even we're talking about deciding what's the opening of an enemy's base, is it this or that, or being able to see fine netting and all that, being able to quickly get into, being able to dodge a whole bunch of things to get into the enemy. I mean, that's what these FPV drones are amazing at. Look, you got them all loaded up, transported, and concealed within mobile structures like wooden sheds mounted on trucks. Once they were all in position, you saw some of the footage. They started coming out of these trucks. And let's see if we can find that footage. Where did I put that? The footage of some of this drone attack is kind of amazing, right? You see these Russians, it seems like civilians, just looking at these trucks, and they're filming it, right? They're filming these drones come out of these trucks, and they're like, what is happening? Imagine, right? You're just going to work. Imagine you here in America, just you're going to work, and you see these I think we found it. You see these trucks parked, and these drones just start coming out of them. Look, it's just regime one by one. You're seeing smoke out in the horizon. That's all strike targets, successful strike targets. And you're like, what? I saw this one video, and then we'll get to calls. Appreciate the calls, 888-775-3773. I saw these videos of these, what seems like it was alleged that in the video I saw, it was the driver of one of these trucks. They're saying the drivers of these trucks had no clue. In one video, it seems like the driver of this truck goes into one of these trucks that was at one point releasing all these drones to inspect it, and the truck blows up with him inside of it. So they were reportedly wired up to explode. You know, they were booby-trapped in a sense, right, to explode, to conceal evidence and technology and maybe even to hurt and maim anybody who came to inspect these things, right? So incredible footage. They're calling this just an amazing strike. And the strike was on what they're saying, some very strategic things. We're talking about bombers. Now, this is particularly, the details of this are particularly important because a bomber, such as the Tu-95, Tupolev 95, these bombers aren't something that you could just replace. They're not like bullets, missiles, etc. We're talking about the big boys, the prized possessions, the things that can hold nuclear bombs, the things that can drop big bombs, bunker busters. These are your fleet. And not just any part of it. These are the bombers. Not easily replaced. That's why this makes this so significant and a particular impact to Russian military assets. Now, why does that matter? I mean, when you're impacting military assets to a significant degree, it's called war. Okay, buddy? It's called war. And you know what I heard? I heard due to international pacts, international, these militaries of the world, to some degree, they have to actually have these bombers out in display. You can't just like hide them away and all that. Like they have to be like out so that they can be like satellite imaged and all that. They could that the world, so that the other countries can see, hey, where are your bombers at? How many do you have? Okay, where are they? Just so that we're cool. That's just how the world works. So when you have a strike like this, you're talking about a major thing. These are the chips. These are the world power chips. You know, how many of these chips do you hold? That determines the balance of this power. How many nukes, how many bombers, how many all this, right? It determines this balance of power. And Ukraine did a major strike on these chips that you can't just replace. Okay? Pretty interesting. Some are saying this is major sabotage of what is the purported peace talks between Trump and Putin. And I know Trump wants peace. What it seems to me is like these actors like Ukraine, etc. They an attack like this, it seems like it's gonna make peace hard. Okay, I guess that's all I'm saying. They're saying the news is come on, give me the news. Hold on, did I save the wrong link? Because the news was this article on Trump, a call between Trump and Putin. Okay, and then we'll get to calls here. Appreciate you holding. There you go. This is from CNN. Trump says Putin told him in a phone call he will respond to Ukraine's weekend drone attacks. This is coming from CNN. Russian President Vladimir Putin told President Donald Trump in a phone call Wednesday that he was obligated to respond to Ukraine's weekend drone attacks. Trump said, setting up potential escalation in the conflict, just as the president hopes to broker an end to the war. The leaders' conversation was their second time speaking in a matter of weeks. Trump, who announced the call afterward in a post on Truth Social, made no mention of applying pressure on the Russian leader to agree to a ceasefire or calibrate his reprisal. Okay. Trump acknowledged the 75-minute conversation would not yield an immediate end, of course. We discussed the attack on Russia's docked airplanes. It was a good conversation, but not a conversation that will lead to immediate peace, of course. President Putin did say, and very strongly, he will have to respond to the recent attack. Jeez. They're saying 1 million. They're saying they've already got 1 million dead over there. Trump's matter-of-fact description of the call offered little evidence of advancement in his attempts to end the war. The president said last week he would be able to determine within 2 weeks whether Putin was serious about negotiating a ceasefire, but has said little about how he would make that assessment. Meanwhile, there's been increasing pressure, of course. But that's pretty much the dealio as it stands right now. What can I say? That's pretty much how it stands. Deadlines. We passed this deadline. This past Sunday was this deadline of this major negotiations between Iran and the U.S. It's crazy. It's like when you look at it, I mean, the world really does want to fight. It's kind of crazy. Well, you put it like this. What I'm thinking of right now is the criticisms of Trump's ability to create peace. And while you can have them, and while what I'm about to say sounds like circling the wagons, like you, whatever, let me ignore your criticisms. However it may sound, it seems like the world wants to fight. Isn't that, I mean, what can I say? It seems to me like Trump is out here, guys, he's calling them. He's like, let's do peace. And I know they're bombings, and I know Israel's got the bombs, and then you got the bombs from Ukraine, and so that's making it tough. But I mean, the liberal media is laughing at Trump. They're saying he looks ridiculous going to these world leaders, doing everything, almost prostrate, trying his best for peace. You know, they're saying taco, right? They're using this acronym. Trump always chickens out, right? And they're making fun of him. They're saying he's not. I know that's about economics and tariffs too, but it's also about foreign policy and all that. And they're laughing. They're saying, but what? They're laughing at what? A man's attempts. Tell me where I'm wrong, because I could be wrong here. It's just, they're laughing at what? A man's sincere attempt for peace? Is it maybe ridiculous? Is it maybe, I don't know, difficult? Yeah, but they're like, what are you laughing at? A man's sincere attempt for peace? It seems like the world really wants to fight. They're finding any opportunity to get what they want. And what can I tell you? The world's an angry place. We got William out of California. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, you see that's why he didn't want to give him money.
Yeah.
Because of that, right there.
Right.
But he's probably going to have to go.
Zelensky?
Hell yeah. That's why he didn't want to give him any money, and that's why he said, you don't come to the White House disrespecting me, asking for our money. That's exactly why, right there.
Yeah.
Because they went straight up on the offensive, didn't they? It wasn't like they were attacking Ukraine, was it?
It's great, man. They want war. They want fights.
They went on the offensive to do this. They weren't defending themselves. And that's why he didn't want to give them any money. And it's going to be making it pretty hard to give them any more.
Yeah, it's just
This is what Trump was talking about, this guy.
Absolutely.
Ain't no use of them laughing at this. This ain't nothing to laugh at. They're just looking for anything to try to criticize Trump. Trump's doing good. He'll be okay. Everything will be all right. So,
right. I mean, well, you see,
just trolling.
From Zelensky, you mean? Well, put it like this, William. What is interesting though is that it does detail the sticky situation that Trump is kind of in. I mean, that the world is in, because now it seems to me he's had numerous sincere attempts to want to talk with Putin and make things work. But as it stands, and you could say for whatever reason, right, that Zelensky pushed him or whatever, for whatever reason, as it stands, it doesn't seem like Russia wants to talk. Like Russia is just, and why would they? They're winning. They got what they're getting what they wanted. They don't want this peace. And so what you're saying this is going to make it difficult for aid to Ukraine, but actually it might be that it might. It's not that Trump has no choice, but let me put it like this: in the establishment's mind, America might not have a choice, but I think there might always be a choice. But in the establishment's mind, they're like, we're gonna have to, we gotta. If Russia doesn't want peace, they're going to keep going for whatever reason. We gotta set up.
If they want to, here's the deal: if they want to keep going, Ukraine is next to Russia, not next to the United States. So therefore, that's why he didn't want to give them any money. You over there poking the bear, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to outlast Russia if they went to all-out war, which is already looking like that. So that's why they didn't want to give him any money. You see what he did? He's just as corrupt as as South Vietnam. We were helping them. Just as corrupt.
What do you mean? I'm not familiar with South Vietnam like that.
South Vietnam, the ones who lost,
Yeah.
They were pretty corrupt. Very.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they were. Very corrupt.
Corrupt in the relationship with America.
Yeah, I mean, we supplied them.
Mm-hmm.
The communists ran them out. We didn't really lose the war. We just pulled out, just like we did in Afghanistan. The Democrats start all these wars, and they just won them. And this stuff wouldn't have went on if Trump would have got reelected in 2020. Wouldn't have went down.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens with all that. We'll see what happens with all that.
Yeah, well,
it seems like Trump is getting ever increasingly in a tight situation.
He's gonna be all right. If he's handling it better than.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal: he's handling it better than their guy would have. So we'll see. And you should give the flowers to whoever was taught. I think that was Mark about those were Hebrew Israelites in the park doing that.
Oh.
And there's video, and I sent it to you in your email.
I think. Oh, you mean today? You sent it?
To you. Yeah, I sent that last week.
Oh, okay.
There's footage of this. This was the Hebrew Israelites. Remember, I told you the white people.
I think you did actually. Yeah. I remember that now, actually.
And what happened in the bar? What happened in the bar? What they wanted some reparations?
The fight? Oh, what did you think about that?
Well, whatever.
Okay, so apparently,
people getting sick of now.
Okay. Fatigue.
Sick of now.
You're on it.
That's honest. I'm black, and I can tell you, yes, there is a such thing as fatigue. It is. People are getting sick of them. You can't even pay for your tab. Come on.
So
who does that?
The thoughts on
who does that, Nick? Nick, who does that? Who steals in Walmart every day?
Low life people, right? Who doesn't pay the tab? You're asking me who doesn't pay the tab? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Low
You want
life
to put
people,
a color
right?
on it? Put a color on it. You can put a color on it if you want to. If you do, you shoot any video of any of these things we're talking about.
Yeah.
You can put a color on it if you want to, and it's going to be somebody black. Yeah, people getting sick of them.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't find anything particularly wrong in that video? Do you think I'm too sensitive to vigilante? Or is it not fair to call it vigilante?
I thought it was kind of hilarious that you said I'm sitting here enjoying. What did you say you were doing? Looking at that video, that was funny as hell.
I'm a little more tolerant. I don't even feel the fatigue. But maybe I'm sensitive to, like, maybe at some point in America this is fine. This is normal. Men, dealing with their community locally. What do you think, William? Am I too sensitive to a local? I'm calling it vigilante justice. Do you even see it that way?
Man, this ain't doing better. This is just not. This is not better, people. You pay your bills. It's simple. Go to work, especially if you're between the ages of 17 and 50. Just go to work, pay your bills, pay your tab. Nobody's
it
really
seemed overboard for me. That one seemed overboard for me.
Why is that?
I don't know. At some point, you just got to let the cops handle it, right? You got to put your hands on it because you pay a tab.
Yeah, you should let the cops. I mean, I wouldn't have did a damn thing
right.
up in a situation like that. But I guess some of these. It looks like there was a biker club.
Yeah, it was. It was. They were not playing. They were not playing.
So the one percenters are not going to let you come in their bar and do nothing like that. So you can just get over it. That's gonna happen. They'll jump on anybody for that. And if it's their bar too, oh please, let's come back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody owe you guys nothing. I guess they were looking for reparations and just gonna walk out, but it has been done before. Black, people, is it black or is it young people? I don't know. It's fair for me to say this. Is it black or is it just young people? It's really black, but I'll go ahead and say it's fair. No, I ain't gonna be fair. I'm gonna be real.
Right,
it's
real.
Black. It's black.
If there's one thing you're allowed to do, you can speak your mind.
Walking out of restaurants, walking out of Walmart, and they doing it with their kids too, Nick. Oh my God, I've never remember my mother doing anything like this. It's crazy, man. How'd you do with your assignment?
You said my assignment?
Yeah. Before you say anything, You know, this is 7th grade education. She didn't do anything impressive by telling you that. Okay? When did they stop? Just tell her.
When did they stop, you said?
When did they switch from Republican from Republican to
I mean,
Democrat?
it was over time, right? It seems to me like it was over time, but some major inflection points were like the civil rights movement, and they didn't agree with it.
Tell her this, and she didn't know this. She didn't know this. It's all 7th grade education.
Yeah.
Education. let's see, 100 years. Let's see, 1865, 1965. That's exactly 100 years, and then you count 60, 2025. So Black Republicans existed a lot longer than Black Democrats. 60 years for the Black Democrats, 100 years for Black Republicans.
Mm.
So when did they start going wrong? Exactly 100 years after, when they switched to Democrat.
Point made. Yeah.
Tell her that. In the meantime, pay your tab. I don't know what they're expecting.
Loud and clear, William. Well, appreciate that, man. Appreciate your call, sir.
All right.
Call me again.
I will.
888-775-3773. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
My brother Nick, what's up with you, man?
All is well, no complaints. And yourself?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man.
Nice.
I'm just calling to think what you think about Elon Musk, man. He's upset with Trump about his budget.
Yeah.
He says there's a lot of pork, man, because I guess Elon Musk, we went out our way to slice and find some, some wasted money, and he feel like President Trump is have a lot of pork in his budget. And just wanted to get your opinion on that. It's always good to hear from my brothers, Brother William, and all the rest of my brothers and sisters on him.
Nice, Rick. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I saw the similar criticisms from Elon Musk, and how do I put this? Two aspects make a lot of sense to me. And it's one, you have this major problem of the debt and the budget. It's basically been a scam for decades, and it's just like an ever-increasing problem with not a single person really in the government who wants to do the one thing that would fix it, right? Which is the same approach probably for the whole entire government, which is what? Short-term pain so that you could fix things in the long run. Now, Elon Musk sees this problem and doesn't see the transformation that he wants to see, and I think a lot of people can understand that. But there's another aspect of this that makes sense to me too. This debt crisis, it's honestly been a problem for decades, and when you have a lot of people coming out to criticize the big beautiful bill, it's merely politics, okay? If they had the reins of power, they would increase the deficit just as easily. It's a matter of who's in power and what they want to enact. I personally trust Trump, and although I can understand Elon Musk because there is no I don't see this transformation. Put it like this: it's a matter of squaring these two aspects and then concluding what do you think is strategically important to talk about, right? You have this aspect that you want this administration to take control and push forth this budget whatever they see fit, but you also need the government to stop spending. These two things are in opposition to each other. These two things are in opposition to each other a little bit, somewhat, and it's up to you to decide what you want to make us think about. I mean, if Elon Musk decides, okay, I got to make this attention now, I mean, I guess that's what he's saying. I just don't know what to say.
You think
I'm just an individual waiting to see how it all ends up, I trust Trump, but I'm just an individual waiting to see how his plans will all end up, and I trust him. I'm waiting and seeing, though.
I tell you what, one thing about it there, Nick, when you bring people from overseas and when you tell them to stop wasteful spending, they are budget hawks, man. They don't play. They cut anything that seems wasteful. They cut it big and then come back and adjust it. And that's what you need to do, man, because ain't nobody, only person that try to tackle the debt is really President Trump. That really tries to tackle the debt.
It seems like it.
Most times,
Yeah. He seems like. I mean, what I'm saying by seems like it, it's like, it's like the best you can do. What was it? What was Doge cutting? Something in the billions.
It was something like
What needs look? All I'm saying is when Doge, the Doge doing what it's doing, amazing. But even they reported simply cutting things in the billions. You know, this crisis, this problem with the debt is in another level. The debt, the interest alone is in the trillions. I mean, 1 trillion.
Yeah.
Right? So that's nice, billions cutting, but it's like a drop. It's like meaningless.
It's like
Not
some
meaningless.
change
Here
in
I am
a,
talking like as if I know, but it seems insignificant in comparison to the problem of the interest, for example.
Wow, man. You know, I'm like, I can understand. I'm with you, man. I'm sort of like the same thing how you said it. I understand Elon Musk, but I think Trump has a plan because Trump, that guy, he counts every dollar too. He don't waste money either.
I think so. Yeah. Right on, Rick. Well, I'm on that wait and see, and we're watching, man. Rick, anything else you want to say in the last minute here? We got to move on.
Man, you know, I'm just saying, you know, with all this, man, including the tariffs, man, I don't know how you deal with people that like the Democratic Party. They can sit up there and think, oh, Trump is starting a trade war. And you'll ask them, okay, then you got other nations they've been trading unfairly. What do you do? I mean, what's the proper way to handle it? You know what I'm saying? And they'll never have no solution.
Fair enough, Rick.
They will never have no solution to handle anything, man. But they'll criticize all day long. But they will never have nothing to suggest.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. Rick. If that's one thing, that's one thing I just can't turn. I can't turn on Trump and start criticizing him on that one thing. I can't blame him for having vision. You know what I mean? I can't blame him for having vision. That's one thing I just can't criticize him on. Right? It's like, oh, I want to fix the economy. Let me hit these tariffs so that I can, the biggest claim is to radically transform the economy, or at the very least renegotiate a deal with these nations. You know, one can say, hey, you know what? I see him attempting that, but he's not doing it right enough. And you know what? You can have that criticism, but I'll never say he's a bad guy for having that vision.
I think it's good.
It doesn't seem like anyone else is. But anyways,
it's just like I don't understand it, man. It seems like no one wants to handle it. I mean, they just won't keep the trade imbalance going. Keep letting people make us grab the ankles all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right on, Rick.
And that's just the thing, man. And that's about it. And I know you guys ain't go there, Brother Nick. But
yes,
love
sir.
you, man. Thanks for taking my call. Love you and be blessed, brother.
Call me again, sir. We got to end the show. Ooh, sorry about that. He's going to say we'll do and say goodbye properly. Rick, thank you for your call. Folks, we got to vacate the studio. That's the show, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate the support and everybody. Thank you, all my members and supporters on Rumble. Harmony Grits, thank you so much. With a super chat asks, do you think Elon criticizes the big beautiful bill because it repeals Biden's EV mandate, i.e. it goes against the left's big push for EVs and hurts Tesla? No, Harmony, my impression, and I don't really know what he's thinking, but I honestly think it more has to do with just what he sees as important. It's like when you ask someone who put it like this, when you ask someone that sees America becoming a minority white country would transform it right to something that just wouldn't be America. You talk to someone who sees that, and you ask them about Trump and how he's handling deportations and all that, and I think if they're an honest person, they'll say, yeah, they agree with it and they like it, but they'd like to see it more, honestly. I think I heard the other day it's 3,000 a day deportations. I mean, that still wouldn't be, you still would not overcome the 8 million that came in under Biden. So what am I saying with that? What I'm saying is, when you ask someone like that, yeah, they'll say, well, Trump's not doing enough. And they wouldn't necessarily be wrong factually, but when it comes to strategy and loyalty, I mean, I guess in a sense, you're missing something there, I would say. So what am I saying this to parallel it to Elon? I think he sincerely sees that this 40 trillion debt, where the interest alone has now ballooned and now dwarfs like Medicare social stuff and the military. It's crazy. When you got someone like Elon, he sees that and says, okay, well, I want to fix that. He goes into the government, attempts to fix it, and sees, there's still a lot of politics in the way. I think that's where he's coming at it from. There's still just a lot of politics in the way. Like when I see a video of ICE agents being shooed away by what looks like boomers saying, shame, 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 and these ICE agents with guns walk away, I think to myself, oh, wow. Nobody really wants to transform this country. You know what I'm saying? And so that's maybe a black pill, and you don't need to take the black pill like that. In a sense, Trump is doing what he can. And now I'm just rambling, but you asked me, do I think he's criticizing this in a strategic way because it's strategically against Tesla? No, I think it's a little bit more about what he's saying. That it's not transformational enough for him. And I did like Hake's commentary, honestly. It was sobering. It's sobering commentary on stability. And, there's these reports that he's like on Adderall and stuff. But I thought what Hake brought up was, one might take it as like nasty, but I thought it was sincere and like honest, like a sobering point. Like, Elon's kind of a wild card, It's not to just throw away his criticism. I'm just saying there's a difference in character between Elon and Trump. Shall we say that at the very least? Yeah, Chase, did you see that video? Chase is asking, just yelling shame. It was ICE agents. And it seems to me, if you watch this video, they're there to deport people. And I hope they weren't stopped. I hope they just left. And they did what they had to do and left anyways. But if I'm to understand this video, it seemed like ICE agents were shooed away by a protest crowd that was like saying, shame, shame. It's like, you have guns. I guess it's, anyways. Let's move on. We got to go now, folks. That's it. It's the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow. Wow, Thursday's already here. Bible Thumper Thursday. We love it. And the rest of the network. For now, I have to say goodbye. Take care. I must vacate the studio. All right, folks. Take care for real now. We say, it's so hard saying goodbye. Bye. See you tomorrow.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.